Hey, what's up?
How's it going, Joey?
There we go.
Good. Good afternoon. That's my wife that just popped in.
I,
Hey,
She's a big part of it too, just as well. So she helps me in every way. So I appreciate that.
yeah, appreciate her helping you out. Appreciate the time from you, man. Won't keep you for too long, but want to get
Um,
this Journey's cover band and talk a little Anthrax and get your opinion on a couple of things. But tell me about this band, man. I know it's gone on for a couple years now. I think it started kind of right before the pandemic, right before you kind of got to get things going on it. But tell me about putting together this band.
well, that the band really, Chris and I, when we were on a cruise, I we put together a acoustic, should I say, like no amps, just a keyboard and the keyboard player Doug Carter, and he's fantastic. And I had met him before, and I said, you know what? We did some Journey. Basically, did a night of Journey acoustically, and then we had a friend of ours on the boat too wanted to join us, which isn't with the project, but at the time we had two keyboards. So we finished the night, and I said to Doug, long story short, I said, geez, Chris and I were both going, hey, is there any way you'd be interested in doing a full Journey thing? Because I always wanted to do one. And he goes, yeah, I got the band. And lo and behold, he lives in Nashville, and he's got a bunch of great musicians that he plays with all the time. And here we are, and again, when you mentioned something about us doing something before COVID, at that time, I haven't even met the rest of the guys. We just kind of flew in and did a show, and it was probably a little too early for us. We won't do that again. But it went well for what it was, but obviously it was just too early. We hadn't even really got a chance to get our feet on the ground and play together, and now that we've actually rehearsed a couple of times, got to know each other better, and now it's been just basically we've been keeping in tabs together, and we had some shows. I think we've probably done around five now, if I'm correct, and now we're looking at another 9 so far on the books. So really excited about doing it. I love doing classic rock in general, but Journey's always been one of my favorite fun band genre. And I mean, I've always loved them long before Steve came. And then when Steve came, and I'm already into the Yes and the Foreigners and Kansas and Led Zeppelin and everything else that goes with it, and I just love that. So, I mean, Journey, just overall catalog, I just dig. And of course, there's a lot more to really cover, but we have a pretty sharp set as it is. So I'm happy with that.
I love it, man. I feel like a lot of people do bands for extra money, and this feels like a real pure passion project for you. Just doing it out of the love for the music, which is great to see.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, there's no frills. I don't, obviously I'm not trying to, I mean, I've met Steve, I've met Neil, I've been around the guys, and I'm so grateful to have spent some time or even been in the building with them all. But overall, I endear the music so much that it's just fun to be able to have a band and do great music, and then the rest really will come a long way, and I really want to do it more, do the corporate thing and do the festivals and take it on anywhere, casinos, whatever it may be, even clubs. I mean, we play clubs, and there's some really a lot of fun shows. I mean, it's like the old days, get up and you jam and you have fun, and there's a lot of good banter.
I love it, man. And it's more of a cover band than a tribute band. You're not doing your hair like Steve Perry. You're not putting on the spandex. You're not trying to be Steve Perry. You're just Joey singing Journey songs.
Yeah, and I don't like using the word tribute, but I mean, at the end of the day, we have to let people know that it is not. Obviously, I'm in a thrash band. I don't want anybody to go think, well, what is it? Is it a band doing solo music? No, it's actually a night of Journey, and basically with great musicians, that love, these guys love the band. They do love rock too. They're really into hard rock. I mean, we're capable of doing a lot of things, which we're going to do eventually, more stuff.
I love it. I love it. Is there any tune on the set list, on that Journey set list, and all those great songs and Steve Perry's big, amazing voice? Is there anything where you're like looking forward to it, or maybe like, Uh-oh, let's hope I can pull this one off tonight. Is there any song that kind of challenges you on that set list of all those Journey tunes?
There's songs that challenge me in different ways. When you do ballads, there's a lot of nuances and it's a lot of the slight and the delivery. And then there's songs like Separate Ways. I always love, it's full compact tune, and you go back to the old days with Wheel in the Sky, and it's a nice kind of smooth, but it's very compact with a lot of, as the wheel turns, there's a lot of pieces. Even some of the newest stuff, like even on Raised on Radio, like say "Girl Can't Help It," that's a loaded tune. It just doesn't stop, and it's nice. It's different vibes on all the songs. I don't fear any of them, and I always have my own approach with it. I get it as close as I can, but I also like to have a little room for my own individuality. That's real important for me, because if I sit there and try to dot all the T's and I's and be so worried about things, and then it doesn't come off genuinely flowing for me. Yeah.
Are you using a full mic stand when you do this band?
I have the earlier shows that I did, I'm up to maybe pull it back just because I don't feel like carrying it around. And it's a job to go over to somebody else's gear and rip that out of their stand. And I go, yeah, you got to take this piece. And by the time I get it all, you know what, I'm gonna try without it. I'm not used to, my left hand has always been occupied
Yeah.
both ends, and it's just something that I've always had back in the early days, because the big stand would bang into people. The one mic just didn't feel right to me, and even the stand itself by itself in one station area, it just didn't feel right to me. But I've always loved the half stand. But no,
Yeah.
I'm going to try without it. I'm going to try without it.
Well, looking forward to the show. We have you in our market at Yaamava Resort and Casino on August the 25th, playing along with Gilby Clark's the Keef Richards. Have you played with him before? Are you old friends with Gilby?
Yeah, well, Gilby actually, the last time I just seen him too. We were Chris and I and Anthrax actually, but we went to the first Pantera opening show in Mexico City. Gilby was on the side of the stage, and of course, we were watching on Zach's side, so we just kind of stood together. But before that, prior to that, during COVID, we had a Dio live stream.
Oh,
And
right.
I did 5 tunes on that, and Gilby came in last at the end of the live stream thing. We did "Long Live Rock and Roll" together. He was the guitar player in the song, and everyone else, whoever was part of it. And then there's Sean on the bass. He's playing bass in the Keith Richards. He just told me last night. So he played bass on a lot of the stuff too, and he's awesome too. Really great guy.
Yeah, Sean McNabb, great bass player, and looking forward to seeing both of you guys play together. And wanted to talk a little Anthrax with you. I mean, looking forward to this Journey show. I kind of had an idea of what you were going to do based on the Anthems album and doing the Keep On Running cover of Journey. So it's like, okay, I can see what's coming here. But wanted to say congrats on 40 years of Anthrax, and got to see on the 40th celebration tour at the Hollywood Palladium with Chuck D came out, which was really cool, and more recently in our market. But I'm kind of curious, is there any song that you wrote that you look forward to singing every night still on stage with Anthrax?
Anthrax, I don't really have any specialty. I mean, obviously, all the great classics that we do that people are really counting on us doing, like Indians and Caught in the Mosh and I Am the Law, Madhouse and Medusa, and God, I mean, we pulled out AIR that last show in Milwaukee. We don't dig too deep. Sometimes the deep stuff becomes a little unfamiliar for everyone, and for ourselves too. But I'm up for anything I feel comfortable doing. I want to be able to do songs that I feel great doing, that go well with the crowd and the set that we're doing. Sometimes if you dig too deep, you kind of lose people too. And then the actual, some songs aren't just meant to be live.
Mm-hmm.
They're really great studio stuff. But I don't really have any personal favorites other than those ones I mentioned. I mean, I enjoy everything. I'm not one of those ones that, like, I'm so tired of this song, or I'm sick of it. I can't be in that mode. I mean, I won't do anything entirely if I don't feel like I'm in it all the way. Obviously some songs, sure, they have their moments of like little difficulties, whether it's a different key that's a little odd, or the song is so loaded with lyrics, which a lot of them are, versus say the Journey stuff. You have a lot of times where there's a lot of gaps, but yet I mean, everything is in the right key too. We really, really stick with everything is in the right tuning, should I say. The tuning of the guitar, it's the right, exactly like the record, and that's what I like.
Beautiful, man. Just to touch on my little Anthrax, I really came in on the "I'm the Man." That was my first Anthrax cassette, and I thought it was so cool. Hey, look, the singer's going to go play the drums while the drummer comes out and sing. And kind of curious, did you play drums before growing up, or was it just kind of easy enough song to learn how to play on the drums?
No, I mean, I'm the Man gives me no opportunity to do anything worth a crap. No, I've been since seventh and eighth grade. I was drummer.
Ah,
I've been drumming for quite a while, and I had continued to the 80 around the 80s, and I became out front. I went out front, but meanwhile, before that, I was always singing and playing drums at the same time.
interesting.
I had the full boom.
Uh-huh.
Finally the headset came around, and I've been doing the classic rock 3-piece. I had a band called Chief Bigway, which is no longer together at the moment, and or whatever. We did Rush and Pink Floyd and ZZ Top and Whitesnake and Journey, and we did all kinds of stuff, and I would sing and play the whole night. So I enjoyed it. But I'm the Man, it was just kind of a thing where, yeah, you go up and I'll go out front, Charlie. And of course, they really didn't give me. I mean, I played it fun, but there wasn't much for me to do in that tune, unfortunately.
Well, I love it, man. And I played drums a little bit as a kid until I got into radio, but I've always thought that drummers make the best singers.
Well, I keep in mind when I am in a band playing drums, I'm very, very attentive to what the vocals are doing and not overplaying. Obviously I'm the drummer, so I still have to do my thing and
Right.
kind of keep that right. But keeping good time and being solid was more important for me, to not overdo it for the singer. So, and I learned a lot by doing that, and I do listen to albums with that in mind all the time. I wonder where someone's going when they're writing, the vocals around the drums, and you just need to know where the pockets are.
Yeah, I think playing drums makes it easier for you to be a singer. Like where that beat is, and much more on the beat. Speaking of Anthrax, last couple albums have been great. I mean, Worship Music, For All Kings. I know a new album is coming probably next year at this point. Have you gotten to do any vocals yet?
No, I haven't done anything yet. I kind of clear the air until everything is about getting closer to that point where you need to start gearing up to go in and sing stuff. Yeah, it's an exciting time to be able to take on song from song, song to song, and really just find the best path to a great version of something that may or may not be what you're expecting, for me and for the fans and the band just as well. So yeah, it's a really interesting time. I love the studio. I mean, we record the Journey stuff. We've been recording that too. Whether we put it out, I don't know yet. We haven't really gotten to that point where like we're mixing, and yet a lot of it's just dropping parts, and some of it could be for audio for like yourself if you want it, or we put up on a website or something. And it's also just fun. Just I did some tracks last night, and I did the drums last night. So hey, you want to lay the vocal down on it? So even just that is fun, regardless of what we use it for. It's good practice.
Do you ever think you'll get to new music, original music with the Journey band?
Yeah, it's a great potential. I mean, obviously, I'd like to learn more tunes for the Journey, and then also we have another project in mind that we're hoping to maybe do with that. We could do a multiple night with it in a different genre of music. So, I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm not really sure what the expectations are at the moment with where we're at with it, because it's probably a little too early to get all excited about something that I feel that maybe I should put the brakes on with talking about it. I can easily talk about it. But I've been doing my own thing. I have my own tracks I've been working on for the last couple 2.5 years of all kinds of good classic stuff, from anything from Ambrosia to Elton John to Judas Priest to the Sabbath to whatever, Kansas. And it's just tons of stuff I could do by myself that I've recorded and mixed a lot of stuff. So that's really been a lot of fun. I've been doing gigs with that, and that gives me, I mean, I'm off with that. I can hit all the buttons to do all kinds of different stuff at a drop of a hat. If somebody wanted a bunch of this, then they got it, you know. But it's a lot of deep cuts too. I dig doing that. So I just like the camaraderie of being able to do something I can do by myself. I have to, but you know, when you got the band, you always have to make sure that everybody's all geared up and ready and available because other people have gigs.
Sure.
I know, I get that.
Yeah, your drummer in Anthrax a little busy right now with that band called Pantera.
Well, yeah, and of course we've had fill-ins for that, and not for the Journey thing. We're hoping not to have to do that, but you know, sometimes other people are busy doing stuff, and there will be people that will could come in and take a night and do a fine job. But I like keeping things solid if I can.
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Well, Joey, I appreciate all the time. Last thing I got to hit you with, man, we're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 o'clock, which you're going to be a part of. And I've recently been in this Metallica debate recently. I wanted to get your opinion on it. I've been debating the best Metallica album with a friend of mine. My friend Brad West from the band Against the Sun, his favorite Metallica album is Ride the Lightning, and mine is Master of Puppets. I'm curious, for you, out of those two, which would be your favorite, Master or Ride the Lightning?
Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife said the same thing the other day. In fact, it was just the other day. My friend was trying to get her to talk about some of the new stuff, and we're like, oh, but we're like, you know, Master of Puppets, and you know, Ride the Lightning. Of course, I'm dear to my heart. We were out at the time Cliff was passed on that tour, and that was the Master of Puppets tour. So that was like, you know, I mean, that'll always forever be in my mind. You know, what a great opportunity to get in the midst of doing something that we were on a path of doing with them at that time. You know,
any stories or memories of Cliff?
Well, to tell you the truth, it happened so fast while we're on the road, but he at the catering, I started to get to talk to him and stuff, and he really was a genuinely just a kind and open person, and I feel bummed that we never really got to get into that more. You know, I mean, obviously when we get there, we're a band and they're a band and they got their thing going. So we hadn't really I personally hadn't had the point of getting so close to them, you know, because a lot of bands, they roll a little different. And obviously there's boundaries and all that stuff, you know, for good reasons, you know. But yeah, and plus I watched them every night. You know, I was really, really happy to be there and watch them do their thing. And look at them now, you know, they still go strong. And man, it's awesome. It's just really awesome to see them do their thing. Of course, the big four, you know, I can always put my hand on that and say we're all part of that with them, you know.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give for another big four show. I was lucky enough to see the one in Indio that you guys did in California.
I know. We didn't do enough, right? I mean, there should have been more of those shows.
Yeah, and actually that was Jeff Hanneman's last show ever with Slayer. He jumped on stage for a few songs. Last time we got to see him, R.I.P.
I know, my God. There were some moments. Oh, with God, Slayer. There's a lot of moments with those guys. I mean, another one. You know, I'm hoping I'll be seeing Gary because obviously we did Exodus Black Label, and
yeah,
he may be coming out to see us when we hit the California run. I hope to see him. Yeah, I love Gary's into the old school rock too. Yeah.
Love it.
Are you a radio station out there that's going to be plugging the whole thing?
Yeah. We're the local rock radio station in the market of the Yaamava Casino.
Now, how far is that from downtown LA? Like Hollywood?
Probably good 65, 70 miles east.
So it's not too close. Not really. You would think that some of those shows like never get that close to one another.
Yeah,
it's not.
We're pretty close to where you just played at Riverside Municipal Auditorium back in February on the Anthrax 40th anniversary.
Right, with the racetrack. I remember there was a monster event there, right?
Well, not there. There is the Fontana Speedway.
Oh,
which is
what, so
kind of close by.
what was one you're talking about? Oh,
Riverside Municipal Auditorium in California.
oh, with Black Label and Exodus?
Yeah, it was like February 17th or something like that. I want to say
Is
early.
that like it's an older venue?
Yeah. Wooden floor
Yeah.
and everything, 2-story.
Outdoor patio, kind of like almost
Yeah.
look like an old hotel. I remember it totally.
Yeah.
Monster was it? Yeah, I know I know I'm at the wrong one. That was really the last show. In fact, the one after that, where I don't know where the hell that was.
Oh, that was the Grove of Anaheim the next night, next to Angel
right.
Stadium, next to the baseball stadium.
So how's the casino? You like it?
I do, and they've finally. It's always been a casino. Now they added a hotel to it, so they've kind of upgraded it. They upgraded the music venues in the place, so it's a great location, great sound, great place to play, and always packed.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting. I mean, it's hard to really get my head around, both of us and all of us, just to know what we're going into and what's going to happen. And I know Metallica's in town for around the whiskey time, so it should be interesting to see, who wants to have a little bit of different twist and music wise. So
Yeah, well, you're lucky you're on the off night of the Metallica tour that they're doing.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know what? At the same time, there's a lot of quite the demographic. So it's not like we're lost in that area. It's not like we're a heavy metal band and
Right.
yelling with that. But
It's not one for one. Just
yeah.
just to put a button on the Metallica thing, pick a song for mandatory Metallica we could play for you. You have a favorite?
Well, I don't know. I'd probably say Master. Master.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really. I mean, it was an opening tune, the whole backdrop, the whole thing. It's just a riff. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Heavy, epic, the dual solo in the middle.
Oh yeah, I love the dually guitars.
Which James doesn't do too often.
What's that?
Hetfield doesn't do a lot. There's not a lot of dual solos in Metallica stuff. It's mainly just Kirk, but
yeah, Kirk.
A couple.
But they do small stuff like not quite Thin Lizzyist, but it's close to that kind of thing. But yeah, Kirk, I love Kirk would show up every once in a while and jam with us a couple of times. He has. Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. We're laughing our asses off. Yeah.
Beautiful, Joey. Absolute dream to get to talk to you. Thank you so much for the time, and I'll be sure to share the air date and all the links and everything with the interview, so you can share that as well. And look forward to the show.
Absolutely, man. It's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. It's a really helpful, and God, our first radio for the Beyond Frontiers. So
yeah, I get that in my credit. Thank you so much for the time, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, link up with us. Don't be afraid to link up and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll be sure to share everything with you. Glad I got the email, and thank you again for the time, Joe. Appreciate it.
Take care.
You bet, man. Take care, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.